What's the difference between a goal and a motivation, and why are they both important?
Yeah. So goals are like the tangible outcomes that your villain wants. Like the villain wants to destroy someone's business. The villain wants to bomb a city. The villain wants to build an army. That's a goal. The motivation is the reason why the villain wants it. So like, why do they want to destroy the business? Like, what is the root cause of that? Who upset them? Like, what is the backstory there? And then the same, like, why do they want to blow up the city, or what, all of these things. So that's the core difference. But the thing is that your villain actually needs both of these, because a villain without a goal, so without the specific outcome that they are after, leads to a villain with no depth, right? A villain without a motive leads to a meandering plot. It's not a very tight plot. It's not a tight story. So you need both of those in the villain in order to have a character that can really pull and create that pace, tension, and conflict throughout the story.
How does a soul scar tie into that goal and motivation, and what actually is one?
So a soul scar is essentially another word for a wound. So everybody always gives their hero a wound. That's the thing that creates the flaw. But the problem is, I don't think that wound is a big enough, strong enough word. So I always like to say it's a soul scar, because these wounds, especially for villains, they have to run so deep that they have left this gigantic scar, literally, like on their very being, in order to generate the mindset that enables them to create or do bad actions, essentially. So a soul scar could be, I don't know, like losing a limb, or losing a loved one, or failing to save a sibling. It could be, sacrificing one to save many, and then the guilt that comes from that. So like a soul scar is something that creates this wound or flaw in the villain. And the reason that you need it is because that is usually one of the things that creates the motivation and the reason why in a villain's character. And also, it creates a lot of depth and often really solid backstory. So it's a great one to include.
I really like the term soul scar, because you say wound and it almost implies it's got the possibility to heal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's why it's a wound for a hero, right? Because heroes heal, whereas villains, 9 times out of 10, they don't heal. The only time that that's not necessarily the case is when the villain is a protagonist